Hey, it's been a long time. Hello, hello. I am in living in Springvale at the moment, and it's kind of like I went to Vietnam and I came back and I'm still in Vietnam. If you've been to Springvale, you'll probably know it's kind of like a mini Vietnamese town, and there's pho shops everywhere. Like we've got like durians, jackfruits, and whatever it is, rambutans on the market stalls all the time. It's just so abundant here. So I've moved down here and I've been busy just being around mum and dad, uncles and aunties, everybody. Hi, Calvin, how are you going? So it's been just immersing and living amongst the family and having a lot of fun. So the, you know, time has gone really quickly. Time has gone really quickly. So I'm back here again, and I want to invite you guys to a special event which is happening on the 1st of May. If you've seen the emails coming out, it's about the paradigm shift that's coming out on the 1st of May. And, over time, sometimes we need a bit of refresh, we need a reboot. And if you kind of like finding yourself in this kind of like, pattern of maybe, doing things and then just not really seeing any changes, then it's a good chance that you just need to, start to become a bit more aware about your thought processes and review them again, because we always have times where we just kind of like forget, right? You get into this loop. So I want to just come in and say hello. I'm going to be coming back and doing more Facebook Lives. And gosh, it's been a while. So I want to share a story with you that will help you to kind of like understand a bit more about some of the things that happen when we I talk about this in the email, and I call them kind of like addictions. It's a lot of addictions are quite obvious, like drinking, food, or drug use or whatever like that is quite common. And then we have screen time addiction at the moment, and parents are trying to like get their kids to get off the screen, get off gaming and stuff like that. But I remember one time somebody shared a photo with me, and it was a photo where they had two people side by side, and they're both reclining on like a sofa or a chair, whatever. One was reclining and immersed in the phone. Another one was reclining with an opium pipe in the hand. And even though the times were different, right? One was the past and one was present, both of them were, at the end of the day, lead to serious consequences, right? And it really troubled me. That image stuck in my mind. And I'm thinking, right, it's quite subtle. You might not think that, being on the mobile phone and watching screen time is going to be leading anything. It's not going to be as dangerous as opium, but you can see that the long-term effects can also be quite disastrous. But then I start thinking there is also something else which is quite addictive and we may not be aware of. And that is what we actually think about and say to ourselves all the time. There's this, subconscious thought patterns. And you may be aware of this when you're talking to maybe a family member and they seem to be, going all the time. Hi, Divyanka. I saw your lovely photos at Sorrento. And they, when you talk to somebody, especially some older people I know, they seem to having this, story and this loop. And they keep on going back and forth, and it's kind of like a broken record. Now, it's quite easy to identify this in other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we may not be able to catch it as it may not so obvious to us. And it's kind of like a blind spot. So something like happened. I was just packing the house and I came across a photo album of my daughter when she was about 5 or 6. And suddenly I had this wash of, emotions of remorse, guilt. It's very sad emotions come up. And that was because that was a time when her dad and I separated. And, these emotions came up, and I just felt like I couldn't, like paralyzed, I couldn't do anything. Now, in the past, when I had those instances, or when my daughter was upset, these emotions would come up, and then I would just get into this mode of, it's kind of like a dark cloud over me, and I couldn't seem to get anything done. It was kind of like paralyzing. And he would take me out, and sometimes the emotions will wash over, and then I'll start blaming my, my current husband, and then it will just like, the chain of pain will continue. So what happens is that it's kind of like an addiction for the body. When you think about something and you have these thoughts, will create these chemical emotions in your body, and so they'll just kind of like, grow, and over time your body may get used to these emotions. Even though they may be negative and detrimental to you, they are kind of like familiar, and they give you kind of like, a boost. Your subconscious mind may want to do that, and in my case, my subconscious mind was doing that kind of like as a way to make up for what it considered as something that was wrong, right? It's kind of like making up, like blaming myself and making up for the mistakes that was made that you considered to be a mistake. But the problem was, it wasn't living in the now. It was stuck in the past. So that particular loop pattern was stuck in the past. So in my case, I felt like, oh my God, I did something wrong. I ruined my daughter's life. I ruined my ex's life. And it was just like this, or after another, one after another, all these images of bad things happening, and, seeing my daughter being sad and lonely and all these, it would just go on, right? And what I had to do is, over time, I realized, oh my God, this is terrible. Like it's a pattern. It's past. It's obsolete. I had to go and put my foot down, and I go, stop. Get with the times. Literally have to tell myself, like yell at myself in my mind, say, get with the times. Stop. Right? I have to call myself, oh woman, get with the times. Stop. And the reality was, my daughter, she's happy now. She has a lovely boyfriend. I am there. I'm close with her. I help her out. Now and then we work together on the business. She's got a thriving clothing business. My ex is remarried. He's got 2 beautiful daughters, and they also have a great relationship with our daughter. So sisters playing together, even come over to my mum's house and sleep over. It's kind of like a Brady Bunch. It's crazy. Anyway, everything is fine. And so I realized that sometimes our subconscious mind is stuck in the past, stuck in this obsolete pattern. And we have to identify and nip it before we get stuck. And so the thoughts create these chemical reactions, create these feelings, and it's so familiar, we don't know. It's like comforters. So when we're living in this situation like that, if we don't know, we get stuck, and we are going back into the past instead of really living in the present and knowing that what we think, how we actually are if we become intentional, right? We want to become intentional with our life. We can start from this moment and create a much more powerful future. And so I use the law of assumption, and I see my daughter, instead of seeing her lonely, being sad, I see her as being happy. I see her having a thriving life, right? And you know what? This miracle happens, and next time I see her, she's happy. We're all connected. There's this power that lives in this universe. We're all connected. And what happens is that you become a very powerful creator. So this paradigm shift that's happening, it's a virtual event that's happening on the 1st of May, and it's capturing highlights of the paradigm shift that Bob used to present. So if you want to join me, just comment below, I'm in, or send me a DM if you have any questions, and I'd love to see you there. And I'll send you links to register, and I'll send you also a private Facebook group link as well, not in this group, but another group where we'll be just talking exclusively, and there'll be replay to the event for 30 days that you can watch, and would be hang around and, you have any questions and things like that. So it's a time and opportunity to really just focus a bit and just go deep into this material, because I know there's so many distractions going on, and it's very easy to just go, yep, next time, I'll do that next time. But deep down, you know that you just need to just stop for a moment and really start thinking and clearing the plate, reprogram your mind, get rid of some obsolete programming, identify some obsolete stories that you've been telling yourself that really don't serve you, maybe serve your subconscious mind, but not really serving you going forward. So I hope you can join me, and I love to see you in that new group. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I look forward to seeing you again very shortly. Bye for now.